Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Have you been keeping up with all the CC drama, the Wargaming Community Contributor Program drama that's going on? I've stayed out of it, but it's overwhelming the World of Tanks community. I thought I'd feature this tank here. What is it? The the Medved, which is Medvedev. There he goes. And I guess this is part of the controversy. This is one of those tanks that you could have gotten by, it's a new tank, you could have gotten with these tiered loot box things that Wargaming was selling. And I didn't get involved in any of that. I have no interest in their loot boxes or their promotions. I just like to do content for you guys and have fun on my channel. But it led to some controversy. Some controversy has passed, and there's been a lot of videos out on it. You guys have probably, if you're a member of the World of Tanks community, you've probably already consumed 2 or 3 or 4 videos, and you're just looking for more drama if you click my video. I'm going to give you a little bit different spin on it, okay? Because he said this, they did this, they made a video about this, the video was shared in China, then these CCs did that, and these CCs did this, and one of them posted a video, and his community wasn't very happy with it, and some of the CCs were going to do videos promoting these loot box tanks, but then they decided not to. They decided not to make any videos promoting it. And it's a big thing. But not getting into the weeds of who said what, who did what, and who exactly, Johnny did this and Billy did that. Let me just speak about it just from flying at 3,000 feet, okay? So, CCs, who community contributors to this game, are generous people that play the game, and obviously because they've played the game and played it for some time, they enjoyed the game. Enjoyed, not a Freudian slip. I said enjoyed. They enjoyed the game. They became, they produce content, and Wargaming promotes people to produce content, and some people that produce content have gained a following. And that is good for Wargaming because they're the voice of the game. They promote the new content or the new stuff that's in the game. Wargaming is happy with that, and they've got a CC program. And the CCs do this initially because they like the game and they play the game, and then as their careers develop, they start to do it, not totally for, but part of the reward of doing it, and like myself included. I make videos on YouTube, and part of the reward of that is that the CCs make a little bit of this. And Wargaming's completely happy with the arrangement because when Wargaming introduces a new tank and they give the new tank for free to the CCs, or they introduce a new scheme like this tiered loot box gambling system, I'm not going to get into how it works. This video has nothing to do with the particulars of what's going on, just explaining it from 3,000 feet or 30,000 feet up. Wargaming's very happy with that voice and that megaphone that can quote-unquote sell the game to the community, because Wargaming's reward is more like this. It's a little bit of an unbalanced situation, but hey, it's Wargaming's game, and they're in it to make money. So there is no doubt that when the community perceives something as negative, Wargaming gets worried. And now they've come down on one of the CCs, IUXN. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. And I haven't consumed a lot of his content, but he was made a CC, and he's been dropped from the program, as Sir Foch was dropped from the program years ago in my day. Guys, I'm not involved in any of this drama. I probably already got some of the particulars wrong, and I apologize. I'm not trying to pass judgment at all at what's going on. I'm just just speaking here, so don't take every detail I say to heart. But in my day, the controversy that I'm well aware of was when Sir Foch finally had it. And he was one of the CCs that was very vocal in complaining about the way the game was progressing to become a pay-to-win game. And in those days, pay-to-win meant that Wargaming was introducing tanks in Sir Foch's mind. And let me paraphrase as best I can. His concern was that they were introducing tanks that were strong enough that they could not be penetrated by their counterparts. They had strong armor so that they could not be hurt by themselves unless you started to shoot premium ammo. And I think it was the Chrysler was the one that set him off. And he looked at the 3D model of the Chrysler, and there were headlights and things on it. But when you looked at the 3D model, there's no weak spots in the front of the Chrysler, that American Tier 8 premium tank. And in those days, that was the big step towards pay to win. Oh my God, Wargaming's introducing this tank now that I'm going to have to press number 2 and spend more credits to penetrate. The only way I can penetrate it is to press number 2. So whoever pays the most for ammunition wins. The Chrysler's a heavy tank's going to go to a choke point. There's 2 Chryslers fighting against each other. And if you don't spend the credits, you just bounce on each other. The player that presses number 2 wins. And that really pissed off Sir Foch, because he was a player that wanted to enjoy the skill and the technique and looking for the weak spots. And he played mainly with just regular ammo. And he was a fantastic player. And it was the straw that broke the camel's back. And he put out a video where he just, in his colorful way of speaking with lots of F, words that start with the letter F. He said, enough of this fucking bullshit. And he put out this video, and Wargaming told him to detract the video and threatened to demonetize or copyright strike his channel and put him out of business. And they kicked him out of the CC program. And at that time, they kicked out what's the other guy? Circumflexes as well. I guess because Circumflexes was friends with not actually. Why did they kick Circumflexes out as well? Because he made a comment about who designed these maps. Did they use their Wargaming's children, design, or something like that? Please don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But they kicked both of them out, and then they brought Circumflexes back in because I guess he said, I didn't even get a warning. Please don't boot me out. And poor Sir Foch was left hanging, like he said, like a potato trying to defend himself against Wargaming's lawyers. And at that time, the community rallied around Sir Foch. His subscribers skyrocketed, and all the CCs stood by him. Not that it did any good. He was done with the game, and he quit the game. And now he plays a different game. Ooh, the drama. Well, in this particular series of drama, this IUXN is gone now as a CC, and it seems like a lot of the CCs really aren't rushing to his aid. They are not resigning en masse, a la World of Warships. Remember World of Warships CC drama, when the Mighty Jingles and other people's just said, "I've had enough," and they just all of them outright resigned and just dropped out. Right? And they dropped out of the World of Warships program, I guess, because they weren't making a lot of making World of Warships videos. What I'm saying is, regardless of all the facts and all the facts that I got wrong, and whatever you've heard of who said what and who did this and why did they do that and why did they do this and I support this and maybe I don't support that. It's all about this, basically. And from my perspective, I'll give you my perspective. Me, personally, these loot boxes and these, please gamble on this. You'll have a chance of getting the new overpowered tank that'll do really well over the next few months, 6 months, until we introduce the next new tank that you'll have to gamble for and pay money for. Please buy them. For me, I won't be investing not even that. Not even one more of these on anything that Wargaming's selling. That's just my personal stance. I still like doing videos and entertaining my community, which is mainly an older crowd of people that have been around the block, people that have played the game, maybe some people that have stopped playing the game, people that are, I would say, are a little bit, what's the word when you become wise through adversity? Maybe you've been ripped off, you've taken a couple of hits in your life, and you kind of realize the way things work, right? So my community is more, they're not rushing out to gamble on the next loot box gambling scam that Wargaming's going to come up with. And I don't even know how that loot box tiered loot box system worked, because I didn't purchase any of them, nor did I promote any of the tanks. This is the first one I think I've done a replay. This was one of the ones. The Medved was one of the ones you could get. But the point is that it goes like this. It goes like this. Wargaming, when they first started, we lived through the glory days. People of my generation that played the game from 12 years ago, when Wargaming was pumping out the content and improving the game. And really, the strategy and their goal was to make a good game, get people interested in it, and have lots of people play. And they were really interested in making the game better and making people play and increase the player base. And by increasing the player base, they got more people playing, more people buying the few premium tanks in the game that they offered, which were balanced. In fact, they always advertised them as a tier 8 premium tank that's not quite as good as the other tier 8s, but has a special characteristic, like the IS-6. Wasn't really as good as a lot of the other tier 8s, but it had good armor. The different premium tanks had different characteristics that were interesting, but they weren't overwhelming. The KV-5 had fantastic armor for its tier, but it had a tier, 5 or 6 gun, same gun as the T-150, the tier 6 heavy tank, the Russian tank. So that was their goal: increase the player base, make the game fun. Let's build this business, and it is a business, right? It's not they're not doing it for us. They're trying to make lots of money, right? And their goal was to build the business. Well, over time, through that building the business phase, a lot of people had a lot of fun. And you didn't have to invest a lot of money, but you could get premium tank, premium time to increase your speed of grinding through the game. But then we reached a level where player enrollment started to drop off and flatten out, and maybe even start to decline. And now, a decade later, Wargaming's goals are completely different than they were when I started the game. Wargaming's goals right now are to cash in. They have a player base now, mainly of people that have played for a long time, people that are somehow mentally addicted to getting the next best thing. The next product that comes out, they have to have it because it's going to be the best. And there's a lot of content made promoting those products. CCs get those new products, new tanks, for free, and they're asked to make videos on those tanks to build up the desire for the player base to buy them. And they're allowed to give their honest opinions. I don't like the tank, or I like the tank, but they play them, and they usually feature games they did really well in. But the media and the community contributors flood the market with games in the new products, and they take their little piece from ad revenue, and the cycle goes on. Monetizing the existing player base now is a much higher priority for Wargaming than attracting new players. It's just a simple fact. It's the evolution of a game. It's like an S-curve, and they're at the top of the S-curve now. And they've got an audience and a player base, customers. In Wargaming's mind, all of you are customers if you play the game. And it's their goal to monetize their product as aggressively as they can, as to push the limit as far as they can, as long as the customers are willing to pay. And it's not. This is in this particular case I'm discussing Wargaming, but it's the same thing for all businesses, right? Businesses, Coca-Cola wants you to drink as much freaking Coke as you can. If you could drink 25 cans of Coke a day, if they could convince you to do that, and people are willing to do that, they'd be happy to sell you 25 cans of Coke a day. Now, if you did do that, you might not feel so good, but they don't give a shit. For them, it's sell, sell, sell. Every decision they make, well, not every decision they make. There's obviously worrying about the production, worrying about who they hire, running the business. But every decision that the marketers or the people that sit on the board and the people that own the stock, everything has to lead to increase sales, increase profits. That's how capitalism works, right? Any decision, actually I stand by that comment, any decision that's made has to somehow, at the end of the day, lead to making more money. They're not going to make a decision just, well, we thought it would be a great idea just to give you this tier 2 reward tank that after you've played 11 years that you could put in your, like, do you think that decision is to make you happy, to make you feel really, well, you're going to sell it, have the extra garage slot so that you can buy another premium. That's a bad example, but you know what I'm saying. So without getting into details of the big drama, just know that it has everything to do with this, and that's what Wargaming's interested in. And, so if you're playing for the CCs, if you're playing this game just to keep the channel going and make the money, well, you know, I stand behind that too. It's their business, it's their livelihood. You can't be upset at someone that wants to make videos because they have an audience, and the audience expects it, and the audience enjoys it. That's fine. But do you really think someone like Quickie Baby, who's been playing since inception, basically, that he's sitting there in his pajamas on a Saturday morning streaming for 6 hours? Do you think his enjoyment factor of playing is as high as it was when he was platooning with Jingles and Ike back in the days when they were having a laugh, or when he did those videos about he was in the AMX 1390 in a clan and they were fighting against tier 8 battle against another team, and the other team had all IS-3s and he was leading his troop, and they were trying to outsmart the do you remember those videos in the past, and trying to win in I don't know if it was a clan war or just I remember, we're all going to go over here and hide in the bushes, and there come 3 IS-3s. Go, everybody go in, go around, take your shots again. And they were obviously having fun, right? I do believe that some of the CCs still have fun playing. Like when I occasionally watch Skill play and something weird happens in the game, he's laughing like a child. I'm sure he's having fun, right? But as time goes on, as capitalism marches forward, unfortunately, one of the things that happens is the money becomes more and more of a factor. It becomes more and more of the goal. It's money is the number one concern, and obviously for Wargaming, that's the ultimate number one, without a doubt, maximum top concern for them to introduce. That was just a test to introduce those loot boxes. They've always had loot boxes kind of just at Christmas. And the ones at Christmas, even though they were a little bit controversial, they always had the, these are the 3 rewards or the 4 rewards. And you have a whatever percentage chance of getting them. But if you bought 50, you would be guaranteed of getting, or, whatever the math was, that if you bought a certain amount, you were guaranteed. So they kind of gave you a, if you spend this amount, this kind of maximum, you'll get them all. And if you spend less than that, you'll have a chance. So you're kind of gambling. But it was Christmas, so you could give them out as gifts. And I think people, for the most part, most of the community thought, well, that's okay, right? That's okay. They're a business. They want to monetize. We get a new content at Christmas when everyone's playing, when the participation is really high. But this latest one was just kind of a test to see that if that worked, if there wasn't the controversy, if there wasn't this big drama, if it was just accepted, then we would be looking at kind of a pay for loot box to win model being the new model for the game, right? If everyone loved them and everyone was buying them and the CCs were saying, oh, that's a great idea, then it would probably happen over and over. Then the Wargaming would cha-ching, right? So you have to, I guess, be thankful to the CCs, to all of them. That I think all of them did videos where they didn't support the tiered loot boxes. All of them that I observed, to my knowledge, all of them did. So they stood up for it, but for whatever reason, Wargaming chose to throw one of them out of the program. And I believe, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, I believe, despite what any of the videos you've watched or any of the other CCs say, despite what they say, I think Wargaming's making an example, and they're kind of showing that, hey, if you guys don't toe the line, if you don't, if you start bad-mouthing us too much, this is what's going to happen. And they've got their excuses. Oh, we had I'm not even going to get into it. But it's got to be in, as long as the CCs are making a little bit of this, they're thinking, I don't want to be the next one that gets thrown out. Maybe I better choose my words. Maybe next time Wargaming comes out with a tank, I better get out there and make some nice videos about it. 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Hey, why don't you buy yourself? You deserve a break today. Look at this. It's this high. Look at that beautiful woman that's serving you. She's ready to take a bite herself. She's so happy. The cheese is melting off the sides. It looks beautiful. That's the ads. Those are the ads. Then you go to McDonald's and you buy it. And it's a squished pancake, like the special sauce is dribbling all over the box, so it's soggy. The top bun has a thumb mark in it. And you're like, what? The difference is McDonald's lies or does ads for themselves. Right? They do ads for themselves. It's expected. Wargaming relies on the CCs to do ads for them. That's the difference. That's the weird nuance in this, right? The CCs are independent in quotations, but they rely on Wargaming giving them the new tanks for free so they can make the content. And then the agreement is, well, you guys can give your honest opinion. And if you give your honest opinion, you'll be you pump out the content, but that's our free advertising, and it'll only cost us some free pixels that we give you, and you guys are free to try and monetize your videos and monetize your content to make a little bit of money for yourself. But if you go a little bit too far, no fun for you. You're out. Sir Fosh, you're out. IXNU, you're out. No more free tanks for you. And it's that's it. It all has to do with this, guys. Let's make a new thumbnail for the video. I don't know where to put it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. But all I can say is, if you enjoy the game, play the game. If you don't enjoy the game, don't play the game. If you don't want to invest in the game, don't. I'm not investing, not even one of those anymore. But it's a free world. It's up to you. You may disagree and say, no, I want to pump $2,000 a year into the game so that I can have everything. And that's my enjoyment. And that's fine with you. You can do whatever you want. What do I care? We view things a little bit differently on this channel. It's like, let me continue for just 1 second, for Christ's sakes. Like, someone like Quickie Baby, how long has he been making videos? 15 years on this thing? Now, I've been making videos for a long time, but I don't spend 10 hours a day streaming, okay? Or 10 hours a day every second day streaming. And you can ask yourself, okay, you're born, and from the age of 0 to 20, you're going to school and you're kind of developing as a human. And you're going to make it to about 80. And then from 80 to 100, you're going to evolve as a human. You start in diapers and you're going to end in diapers. So that leaves between the age of 20 to about 60, where you're going to have the maximum enjoyment in your life, okay? So what is that? 20, that's 40 years. So if you've been streaming 10 hours a day for 15 of those 40 years, what is that? Let's do the quick math, guys. Well, you've just spent 30% of your life helping Wargaming sell these. Congratulations! You're winning the game of life. Or if you're playing as well. But to be fair, if you're enjoying your time doing that, if you actually love this, some people love gaming and love playing, well, then maybe you're going to say, those were the best 30% years of my life. I love that. Me, I like a little bit of everything. I like to get out. I like to go hiking and go camping and go do lots of other things. My mind is it just keeps changing and going into different directions. And, I'm pursuing a different channel now. And, but I love my roots here and the community that we've built on this channel. And I love to just, a lot of times we just have a laugh and we watch the games and we don't even discuss the games. So I will continue to have fun with my community, and I hope the rest of the community at large. I wish you all the best in your desire to get the new tanks, whatever ones they are, and however much they cost you. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all on the next one.